So this is the screencast lecture for the second punctuation lesson, commas and sentence parts. And so one of the things that punctuation is supposed to do is to stand in written communication for the pauses and other things that we communicate vocally and through body language, but without words. Commas are one of those. Commas are used with various introductory elements to connect them to the sentence. For example, mild interjections at the beginning of a sentence or in the middle, like oh, yes, no, or well, are either followed or set off by commas. If you have a prepositional phrase at the beginning of a sentence and it is made up of two or more prepositional phrases, then it will be followed by a comma. If it is one prepositional phrase by itself, no comma is necessary. If you have an introductory adverb, like unfortunately, something that tells you when or where or how something was done, or, as in the case of unfortunately, how to feel about it, it is separated by a comma from the rest of the sentence. Same for an adverbial clause or phrase that indicates when, where, why, or how something happened in the main sentence. Commas are used after initial infinitive or participial phrases that provide background before the main clause, as well as in these examples. If you have interrupters in the sentence, there are three possibilities for punctuating that sentence. You can set off the interrupters with commas, dashes, or parentheses. The softest one, indicating the smallest pause or break, is to use commas to set off the word. For example, when you address someone or a group of people before speaking or in the middle of speaking, the name of that person or the term used to refer to the group is either followed by or set off by commas, as in the sentence, Marisa, have you ever worked as a part of a pit crew? The comma attaches the word Marisa, which grammatically is otherwise disconnected from the sentence. Parenthetical expressions, such as however, therefore, for example, I suppose, moreover, and by the way, when added to a sentence in a way that makes them non-essential, are set off by commas. They interrupt the flow of thought. They are not necessary for the complete thought. You have an example of a parenthetical by the way in this first sentence right here. By the way, your favorite driver will participate in the next heat. So, in case you care, your favorite driver, the unitalicized portion of the sentence makes perfect sentence and loses nothing except essentially the tone of voice when you drop by the way. However, in the next sentence, by the way is essential to the sentence, and you'll notice that there are no commas. If we take it out, the meaning of the sentence, the meaning of what's left, changes. In addition, when you tack a question onto the end of a sentence, that's a fairly common way of speaking, isn't it? The comma serves as the glue. Okay. Non-essential clauses and phrases that interrupt a sentence to provide information are set off by commas. The pit crew manager, who also serves as the chief engineer, advised the driver of the car's condition. By setting that off in commas, we're helping to identify the pit crew manager, or giving some information that allows you to learn a little bit more about him if you care. Okay, we're indicating it is not essential. All right. Commas can also be used to set off non-essential appositives and appositive phrases. That is, if a person who knows about Eddie Cheever, if they know about Eddie Cheever, they're going to know the name of his racing team. This is non-essential because Team Cheever is information for those just in case you don't know the name of Eddie Cheever's racing team. Same for this fact about auto racing. They throw in the fact that it is a very dangerous sport. That's in case you didn't know that driving a car at over 200 miles an hour on a circular track can be dangerous. When you have compound sentences and you choose to join them with a conjunction, this would be one of the fanboys, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, or so, the 7 coordinating conjunctions, you have to use a comma as well. Without this comma, I'm going to cover it up for a second, you have a run-on sentence. With the comma, you have a complete sentence. Okay? However, it's joining 2 sentences with these words that makes it correct. You don't throw in a comma just because for, and, nor, but, or, yet, or so are present in a sentence. For example, here, if we take out but, we have a complete sentence on this side, but we have a fragment on that side. Therefore, putting a comma before this but would be wrong. In series or lists, commas separate the items. They should follow every item except the last one. And when you have, that's with a list of objects. When you have a series of adjectives, you separate the adjectives with a comma as well, unless one of the adjectives is describing the other. When we look here, we have skilled and athletic, both describing pit crew. A comma is needed. Here, olive isn't describing car. An olive car sounds like a gimmick car, like, showing up in a car that looks like an ice cream truck. Olive instead is describing green, and green in turn modifies car. What kind of green? Olive green. Well, what is it that's olive green? The car is olive green. So either we argue that the 2 of them together modify car, or olive modifies green and green modifies car, but in either case they do not each individually modify car, so no comma is used. There you go, guys. That's it for this one. Good luck on the assignment.